You enter the spring yard zone, and upon entering you see a blue hedgehog dancing in some mighty fine crepes. He begins bopping along. And what a mighty fine swagger our blue hedgehog boy has.
Sorry, that's probably really loud. Oh yeah! See, I don't know how to do this in my head other than how hype do they make me. See, it's so subjective. What do I base this on other than how excited I get? How often they get stuck in my head? Do I play the zone or the game to actually just listen to the song? Do I put it on in my own time? These are all factors to consider, because they're all pretty well made in their own right. I feel like there's a couple of duds in here, but there aren't many. Most of the themes, I guess how iconic it is as well. Because some of the most, without getting into it, you guys know I'm going, some of the most iconic themes might not necessarily be my favourites. Good time to start with Green Hill Zone, I think. Green Hill Zone is the epitome of what I would call iconic. So, Green Hill Zone. Where do I rank Green Hill Zone? Interesting. Now, Green Hill Zone isn't my favourite. It's probably the most iconic Sonic song ever, alongside maybe Live and Learn. And not just that, I also believe Green Hill Zone is one of the most famous video game themes ever? Question mark. So where do I put it? I think Green Hill goes into SS. It's got that feel-good factor to it. You can tell it's a starting zone, starting theme for the start of the game. I feel like alongside this, I'm going to have to talk about the zone a little bit itself as well. Green Hill is probably the best zone in Sonic 1, which helps alongside the theme. Probably my second favourite zone, my favourite being Starlight, which we'll get to later. But for that reason, I definitely have to put it in SS tier. The only thing I will say on it is I've definitely had enough Green Hill. I recently watched Sonic Prime. Loved it. And there was so many references to Green Hill. I feel like they missed out not having that in the soundtrack. I don't remember hearing it. I could be completely wrong, so please don't get the guillotine. Don't turn me into soup. But I don't remember hearing that. The amount of times they reference Green Hill, they reference the loop-de-loops, they reference the enemies, the actual straights in it. Just never had the theme playing, if I remember correctly. But I'm definitely done with having this mixed in the games. I know we're going to get it again in Shadow and Sonic Generations, and that's fine, because it is a retelling of that. It's a reimagining of Sonic Generations, and I'm really excited for that. Of course I am really excited. But that can remain in SS. It's had its time. Maybe bring it back again in another 10, 20 years, but for now, leave Green Hill Zone there. Next, we have Marble Zone. Now, Marble Zone has probably done one of the biggest flips in my opinion. This is the theme, just the theme, not the zone itself. The theme has done one of the biggest flips for me. So, growing up, Marble Zone used to be one of my favourite themes. You can see where this is going. Loved it. Thought it was catchy. I vibed with the beat, and obviously because it's quite a slow zone, the actual layout itself, I found that you got a lot of time to appreciate the music while Sonic was standing there waiting for a platform or waiting for pipes to rise. You were just like vibing along, getting to appreciate it. And I also had this wicked remix that I've never been able to find that I downloaded on YouTube at some point, probably about a decade ago now. Loved Marble Zone. But now I think it's good. I don't think it's amazing. I don't think it's a B tier. Bearing in mind, B tier is my bottom tier. I also agree with this. I don't think there's any complete duds. But Marble Zone, I'm going to say is an S tier. It sounds old. It sounds like a relic. I don't know if you guys sort of are on that level with me, but it sounds quite catchy. So I do enjoy Marble Zone. But yeah, I think S tier is a perfectly fine place to put it. Right, are you guys ready? Sorry, that's probably really loud. Oh yeah! You didn't come on stream just to watch me dance here. Well, if you did. Oh, it's a banger. It's not Scrap Brain, Spring Yard. I always get those two confused. Spring Yard's SS Plus. I don't care. Actually, don't care. It's one of my favourite Sonic themes. Like, sometimes I'll just stay at the start of the level. This isn't even a joke. Stay at the start of the level and just... I'm pulling the face. You know when you pull the face when you get a song that's kind of like, ooh. That's all I can describe it. I've not got words. I've not got an adjective other than, ooh. That face you pull when you do that, you just... Quality content, what can I say? But yeah, Spring Yard Zone, it's amazing. It's sort of got that metallic sound to it. I don't know what it is. Maybe the chimes of like a xylophone or something over the top of the melody there. It's so catchy. It really suits the zone. While the zone itself isn't the best, I love the zone because of the theme. Now that's how you know it's a good theme. That's why I think it's an SS Plus as well. Because Green Hill is a far better zone overall and more iconic. But I like Spring Yard Zone because of its theme. Now, that surely shows how good a theme it is, right? Here's a hot take. Here's a hot take. 1. Labyrinth Zone isn't that bad. It's bad, but it's not that bad. When I look at modern Sonic games, is it that bad? Probably. Am I just easy to please? Probably. But the theme to Labyrinth Zone, hear me out, the theme to Labyrinth Zone, mwah, mwah. It makes the stage tolerable for me. I think it's an SS. I do. I think it makes the zone tolerable. It's catchy. It's got that bass riff. I'm a bass player myself, not a good one. But like this on like with some slap on it. Oh, I could just imagine. It's so well constructed. And again, it sort of suits that aesthetic it's going for, and it makes the water parts tolerable. I get the layout of the actual level sucks. You know, you're waiting on platforms for ages. You're not going quick. The drowning music might interrupt it. There's a lot of negatives. You move really slowly. I'll reiterate that. But if you've got this over the top of it, is it that bad? No. It could be worse. You could be playing Sonic Blast and you could have whatever the heck they did with that sound manufacturing over there. I don't want to go into it. You could be playing any Sonic game on the Game Gear, to be honest. So, Labyrinth Zone, it's not that bad. Look, between you and me, it's got this theme on it, so it makes the zone tolerable. I know it's a bit of a hot take, but I don't mind Labyrinth Zone. I actually think it gets a lot of unfair hate when compared to modern day Sonic zones, but it's hard to compare 2D and 3D anyway. Here's another hot take. Oh wow, maybe I'm full of hot takes. So here's a bit of a this is the first time I feel like the theme and the zone juxtapose each other, for me personally. Because Starlight Zone, the actual level, the layout, amazing. You get to go really fast. I think it's the only one that's alongside Green Hill for going like being amazing. But what makes it better than Green Hill is that the final boss, not final boss, but the boss at the end of this on Act 3, where you got to jump on the platforms, get the spiky ball to hit him. Great. Best boss in the game. Probably my favourite boss in the first 3 Sonic games. No joke. It's really well constructed. Fun to be a part of. But you're going really fast in Starlight Zone. Like, really fast. And you have this playing? Now, I get it's meant to be magical. I get the thesis of it being space-oriented. I get that it's meant to capture that sort of magical essence per se. But come on, the energy of like the other zones just isn't there. It isn't. It's too mellow. I think it's a little too mellow for how quick you go in this zone. It doesn't feel very endgame either, because you got to bear in mind this is what the second to last proper zone as well. I think Starlight's probably a B tier. I know it's a bit harsh. B tier doesn't mean it's bad though. It's not like it's bad to listen to. There's nothing wrong per se. It's just that it's not that catchy. I don't ever find Starlight Zone in my head. I never remember it. I'm focusing on the music when I'm at this level. Instead, I'm focusing on the actual level. So I guess that's a good hint on how much I like the song. But the theme itself, yeah, I'm afraid it's a little bit of a no from me. Like, oh, that's a bit harsh. It's a bit harsh. But probably the weakest in the first Sonic the Hedgehog. Right. Scrap Brain Zone. Now, Scrap Brain, I think, is okay. I think it's better than Starlight. I do. I think it represents its stage very well. It's got that end game feel as well, which is important. To me, it's got that very, like, mechanical sounding noise to it. It almost sounds like a robot is playing the melody if you listen to it carefully. It's great for what it's trying to be. But again, it's not the most catchy. For that reason, I've got to put Scrap Brain in A tier. It's not bad. It's fine. It does the job for what it's supposed to do. Emerald Hill Zone. Probably one of the weaker ones in the game. Ironically. But no, by no means bad. It's definitely not as catchy as Green Hill. It's not as iconic as Green Hill. But it's still got the happy sort of melody to it. It makes me feel euphoric. You know, it gives me them feel-good vibes. I'll be like... Yeah, it's a banger. It's a banger. Emerald Hill goes in A. S tier, sorry. I think Emerald Hill is a good theme. One of the weakest ones in Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I had a really cool interaction with my local nerd store. I call it a nerd store. Over in the city. He's not too far away from me. He saw I was wearing a Sonic shirt and I bought some Sonic Prime figures. Some of these. I'm not obsessed. But yeah, I bought some Sonic figures wearing my Sonic shirt. And we just started speaking, funny enough, about Sonic. He asked me which my favourite era of Sonic was. And I said the Genesis games. / Mega Drive, depending on where you're from. And then I was asked which is my favourite. And I turned and said Sonic 2. Don't know if that's controversial or not, but I do love it. But I know there's a lot of love out there for CD and 3 as well. So I don't feel like there's a wrong pick. Even if you pick the first one, it is iconic. So I don't think there's a wrong pick with the original trilogy / quadrilogy there. When I asked him, he said the adventure games. Getting a little bit sidetracked, but I was like, good choice. The adventure era is also solid. But yeah, Emerald Hill, S tier. The next one, are you ready? I feel like this Chemical Plant Zone is more iconic than Emerald Hill to Sonic 2. If you look at the games that have brought Sonic 2 back, I feel like Emerald Hill was too similar to Green Hill for one. Even though the theme's very different, it's too similar. Chemical Plant Zone is so iconic. They've brought back the actual level so many times. But not only that, they brought back the theme along with it. The theme and level, I'm pretty sure, was in Sonic Superstars, released very recently. If not the theme, at least the level. Generations, Forces, so on and so forth. So good. The best zone we've discussed so far, hands down. Also probably has the second best theme. It's going in an SS, baby. It is going in SS. I am not having a debate over that one. It is quality. It is quality. It doesn't get me going like Spring Yard, though. I feel like Spring Yard needs its own tier. It might be my favourite classic Sonic theme, maybe? As we hear them, I'll decide whether that's true or not. But, no, Chemical Plant Zone. Mwah. Not only is the theme banging, the actual zone is amazing. So when they coincide into this thing of beauty, you feel like the blue blur zooming around. You've got this fast-paced melody. Oh, it's so good. And if you go quick enough and you're good enough at the level, you never have to go in the water because you beat the water level rising. And you got this over the top to congratulate you. Oh, it's great. It's great. I'm there for the ride. Aquatic Ruin. Aquatic Ruin. It's actually a good water level. Hot take. I think it's a good water level. Mainly because what I like about Sonic 2 stage design in particular, more than 1 and more than 3, and probably more than CD, it rewards you for taking the high route, which tends to be the most difficult route. But it's also the fastest, usually. Most of the time. If you're good, you can take the high route. And if you take the high route, you usually get the best times. And if you take the best route, you get to hear this theme more, rather than the drowning theme. You see where I'm going with this? So Aquatic Ruin, I am going to put in... Ooh, it's not weaker than Emerald Hill. It'd be harsh to put it anywhere below Emerald Hill. I think it's fine. I think it's perfectly serviceable. I feel like S is amazing though, so I like it. I do, I like it, but when you're competing with the ones above it, it's not got that oomph. I think S tier is like the good tier. These are great tracks. Love hearing them as I play the level, but it's not got that little bit of pizzazz. It's not got that little bit of, oh yeah, baby, I like them funky. You know what I mean? It's not got that to it. I think that's all it's missing, because otherwise, mwah, beautiful, beautiful theme. But speaking of a pizzazz, I don't know if I should keep saying that. Casino Night. I mean, I'm already bopping my head. The theme's the best thing about this level. I actually quite like the level. I don't usually like casino levels. Look at Team Sonic Racing, for example, apart from Roulette Road. Not a big fan. If I look at Sonic Heroes, I'm not a big fan of Bingo Highway. There's a Casino Park. I'm not a big fan of Carnival Night. All the sort of like casino, circus-themed levels. I'm not a big fan, apart from the original Casino Night. I think that's an amazing adaptation of it. Oh, it's so good. It'd be fun to play, but obviously I'm not talented enough to play. But yeah, wow. Love me some Casino Night. It makes me bop. It brings the feel-good factor, and that's what I want from my Sonic retro music. When I'm in the mood for a bit of a euphoric boost, that is what Casino Night provides. I could sit there and just enjoy the start of the level. You know, it's the sort of thing I would buy on a CD and listen to. That's how I know it's a good theme. Hilltop Zone. Now, the channel that I'm going to be uploading this to on YouTube, if you guys are watching the YouTube video, hello. Currently I am live though, and if you're watching it live, the channel I'm going to be uploading this to on YouTube, Digital Dialect, was once called True Blood Orc. And when it was called True Blood Orc, before I renamed and repurposed it, but I didn't want to delete everything, this was my outro music. Some of you may even remember. I love it. I love it. If I used it as a theme for my channel, I think that speaks volumes on how I feel about this one. But it's especially the start. I think the start is possibly my favourite part of it. But yeah, Hilltop Zone. Wow, it's catchy. The bass line's awesome. This bit. It suits my personality. If I could pick a Sonic retro theme to suit my personality, I'd pick Hilltop Zone. A little bit like, it's a little bit goofy. Kind of tall. I know that's not a personality trait, but that shows my goofiness even more. And how can a song be tall? Don't know. Vibing with it, rolling with it. Hilltop Zone, you're going in SS. Next, we have Mystic Cave. Now, if you guys, very similar to the last one, if you've watched my Smite reviews, videos I'm very, very proud of, despite the quality control being quite low. I mean, it's not exactly high now, but anyway. I used Mystic Cave for like my last ever Smite video, the Bologna build, and I got some wicked, just not called plays of the game. I've been playing Overwatch, but if there was a play of the game feature, that's what it would be in Mystic Cave Zone. Wow. It has that mysterious aura to it. You know how it's Mystic Cave, like it's dark, it's creepy, it's decrepit. It's also the last zone in the game that's got any form of natural element to it. And they captured the tense situation quite well. It's, you know, what are caves? If you think of adjectives, they're dark, they're cramped, mysterious, claustrophobic even. Not only does the zone represent it well, I feel like the music captures the essence of those adjectives very well. Like, for someone that's not studied music tech at all and knows very little about it, wow, it's amazing. I mean, the most I do is I DJ in my spare time, but that does not give me the contextual knowledge to comment on the quality of the music. But one thing I will say is, it's a bop. Yeah, love Mystic Cave. Love it. I think that has to go in SS. Not joking, we've had a little run-in. And in fact, in my old age, as I get older, Mystic Cave is better than Hilltop. I would have used this now. It reminds me of like what would be in a classic Scooby-Doo game. Not that Scooby-Doo is exactly the, like a SNES or Sega Scooby-Doo game is the pinnacle of what video game music should be. But you could imagine this in like a Scooby-Doo carnival setting with like the tar monster chasing them or something. I don't know, my imagination's running wild there. But I quite like Mystic Cave Zone's theme. Great one. Oil Ocean. I did say it was going to get heavy at the top of the tier list. But we do have some for lower down. It's fine. Again, I don't think of it that well. I don't think of it that much, sorry. It starts to go a bit more metallic like you see in Sonic 1 as you get towards the end of the game. And for that I will compliment it. But that's pretty much where it's sitting. That's how I feel about it. I've not said it for a little bit. But here is a classic Digital dialect, hot take. Here is a classic take. Sorry, here is a hot take on a classic level. Metropolis Zone. I don't mind the level. It gets a lot of crap because of the enemy placement. I get it, it's garbage. A lot of crabs that'll punch you out of nowhere, you can't avoid them because of the jumps. The grasshoppers throwing their pincers out or whatever they are, the blades that'll come back to you. The random stars that'll hit you. I get it, the enemy placement's garbage. You can't go that quick, there's automated segments. I don't mind the zone. And that's just the zone. The theme, wow, I really like the theme, and that's what I'm here to discuss, so I need to get to it. I love the theme. I think the Metropolis Zone theme is really catchy, like seriously catchy, and it makes me enjoy the level. It's what made me persevere when I first beat the game. I was like, oh, I really like this theme, I need to hear it again and again and again. And it's so good. It reminds me of Chemical Plant, just maybe not quite as good. Because the level also suffers a little bit, I think it's an SS, personally. Sky Chase. How do I feel about Sky Chase? It's kind of lame. This is where I need like a bottom tier. This is the first one that would be C tier. Not only do I think Sky Chase is the worst zone in Sonic 2, I also think it's the worst theme in Sonic 2. So when you combine those two factors together, this is the zone that I always really don't look forward to. If Oil Ocean was a theme that I don't vibe with at all, Sky Chase is one where I'm like, ugh, can't wait till that's over. And it's probably one of the very few on this list where I'd be that negative, really. Yeah, Sky Chase, not my favourite, and I'm kind of okay with it being right at the bottom there. But next, we have Wing Fortress Zone. Wing Fortress, what I do like about it, and the credibility I'll give it, is it's very different to a lot of the themes you hear elsewhere in Sonic. It's very, if I say epic, grand. The instruments it uses, is it correct for me to use the term brass? Brass instruments. It's very tense, it's easy to die on this level, and I think the music kind of captures that essence. But it's not that catchy. It's not one that I'm going to go to a party and be like, if I get any song, can I have a Wing Fortress Zone, please? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to waste my one Sonic request before I get kicked off the aux cord on Wing Fortress. Instead, I'm going to be like, can I get Mystic Cave? Can I get Spring Yard? Can I get Casino Night? I'm not going to say, can I get Wing Fortress? It's just not going to happen. But it does suit the level really well. I feel like it's in the same bracket as Scrap Brain. They perfectly coincide. Scrap Brain's even catchier though, so it's going there. But that's how I feel about it. See, the Death Egg Zone. This is, I chose part 2, because there are 2 parts to the Death Egg. And I didn't want to rank 2, because that's unfair on all the other zones. So I went for the second one, because you will hear it much longer than the doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo that you hear right at the start. As good as that is, to be fair. Where do I put Death Egg Zone? The theme is really good. It's very endgame. I like the Death Egg robot. But I feel like the theme isn't even as good as the regular boss theme. I mean it, I actually prefer the regular boss theme to this. It's probably not as catchy, it's not got the upbeat, fast tempo melody that I quite like in a lot of my favourite Sonic 2 zones. I think it suffers from the same thing Wing Fortress does, and I'm completely comfortable putting it there. Makes it look more balanced as well, so it's nice on the eye. I'm joking, that's not the reason it's there. But I feel like it does suit this perfectly, but it's better than these two. It's fine, it's serviceable, it's good for a final boss in fact. Like I said, my lowest tier is B tier. So, again, grain of salt. Really like it, it's just not got something that... It's not something I'm going to go and listen to in my own time, unfortunately. There's never a time where I'll go and listen to it. Angel Island Zone. Angel Island Zone. Angel Island. It's iconic, isn't it? I'd say Angel Island is the other one that's as iconic as Green Hill and Chemical Plant. You know how I said all 3 games have that theme that people associate with the game? I think that Angel Island is this game's Green Hill representation. It's so iconic. It's the one people remember. It's been brought back as well a few times. I think it's good. I'm comfortable putting Angel Island right next to Green Hill. I feel the same about Angel Island as I do Marble Zone. Not Marble Zone, Green Hill Zone. I put it next to it by accident. It's a good theme. And it's so iconic that I can't rank it any lower. I personally, if it was just my opinion, would probably put it in S tier. But based on how iconic it is and trying to put a little bit of objectivity rather than all subjectivity, it's going SS. Completely comfortable with that. And yeah, I mean, what's not to like? Introduces the player in a fantastic way to what the music will be like. Right, okay, here we go. Here we go. Have you guys met my boy, Hydrocity Zone, or Hydro City? I've always had this debate. Is it Hydrocity? That's how I say it, Hydrocity. Or Hydro City because it's a city of water. It makes more sense for it to be Hydro City, but it sounds cooler to be Hydrocity. Anyway, Hydrocity Zone. You get a dance for this one, so you can guess what tier it's going in. Oh yeah, I love it. I love it. It's a banger. It's SS, let's be honest. It's an amazing theme. I'd probably rank it just below Chemical Plant. I think it's awesome. It's so catchy. I think it's got that sort of melody that gets you hooked in. It suits the fast-paced water action very well as well. So if you didn't know, on this zone you can run across the water if you get high enough speeds. You get vaulted forward by these like giant hand things. It's bouncy because you get lots of bubbles. I think the music itself has that very much, like, you know, it's got a bounce to it. It's got a bit of swing. Makes me want to jig. Oh, it's a banger. It's a banger. I can continue jamming to Hydrocity. Please let me know, though, how you actually enunciate that, because I'm not too sure. See, the actual theme to Marble Garden Zone isn't that bad. The theme isn't that bad. Sorry, Marble Garden Zone. You're better than Sky Chase, though. You're better than Sky Chase. But if I'm honest as well, obviously it's a bit biased because I don't like the zone, but I don't actually think the theme is that good either. Like, you compare the energy of like Hilltop, Angel Island from the same game, or Labyrinth Zone. They've got energy, there's bass, there's melody. Like, this is a little funky. I can be like, it's probably the best part. I don't know how to describe it. Again, musical context isn't my forte, but you guys have got to know what I mean. It's not peak classic Sonic OST. So I'm comfortable putting Marble Garden in the B tier there. Now, Carnival Night Zone suffers from a very similar thing in my opinion. And no. Compare this to how good Casino Night was in Sonic 2. They got it wrong. There's not the energy there. Casino Night's so fast-paced, it's got the bass lines to it. And it just didn't capture that same energy for me, and it's such a shame. Such a shame, because there are some genuine banging themes coming up. There are some amazing ones, such as this. I've been negative, let's be positive. So, Ice Cap Zone. Usually by Ice Cap, also, no cap, sheesh! Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. I have Supersonic. I'm going down on a snowboard. The music's fast. The zone's fast. I'm going across water because I'm Supersonic. Oh, it is amazing. It is amazing. Yeah, Ice Cap is so good. Really, really enjoy it. The fast-paced nature of it, the melody, it almost has like an emotional tune to it. To me, I hear like an emotion in the melody. Maybe the high-pitch side of it. It makes it feel like you're getting near to the end of the game. So, I will put Ice Cap in SS. It's a banger. And not only that, I'll probably put it next to Labyrinth Zone on the other side of Green Hill. Completely fine with that. I think it's a good zone. And not just a good zone, an amazing theme alongside it as well. Last one for Sonic 3, and then we're on to Sonic 3 and Knuckles before we are done. Wow, this has gone quick. It's gone quick. Who knew I could talk this much crap about music? Launch Base Zone. If I'm honest, this is the one I remember the least. Out of every single track we have on here, and I've played these games a fair amount, I feel like I'm in a position to comment on each game respectively. Barely remember it. I barely remember it. I don't remember the part of the game very well. Don't remember the zone layout very well. I don't remember the theme very well. So it's got to go down here. It's got to go below. I remember Sky Chase. I don't remember Launch Base Zone. So for that reason, I have to put it bottom. If I can't remember it at all, did not remember the jingle, the tune, how can I give it any credibility if it's not something that I am like, ooh, that sounds good? So, unfortunately, Launch Base, I don't really have much to comment on. But I'll let you guys hear it for a sec. Yeah, it's got a bit of a bop. You know, beat is not bad, bear this in mind. But I just don't... It's not one I remember. And after this stream, I'm not going to remember Launch Space Zone. It's just not one I'm going to remember. Mushroom Hill Zone. This is a remix of it, because I couldn't find the original for some reason when I was looking through. Got almost all the originals for the others, but I couldn't for Mushroom Hill. So I won't stay on it too long, because it is a remix. But Mushroom Hill, if I do it dead quickly, I actually really like Mushroom Hill. I think it goes probably alongside Angel Island. It's really good. It's really damn good. That's all I'm going to say for Mushroom Hill, because I don't want to use someone's remix for too long. Flying Battery Zone. It's good. Flying Battery Zone's good. And also, didn't they bring Flying Battery back for Sonic Mania? I think I remember this in Sonic Mania. I haven't played Mania as often, and it has been a little while since I played Mania. But, oh, it's a banger. It's so good. It's going in SS. It's very end game. It's very end. Feels like the end of Sonic, by the way. The tempo is really fast. It feels like you're right near the end of not only a great game, but a great trilogy. And for that, I cannot credit it enough. Really, really enjoy it. Big, big fan of Flying Battery Zone. And in general, I just think the upbeat nature of it brings me the euphoria I'm looking for when I look at Sonic Zones. So yeah, big fan. Big, big fan. Sandopolis Zone. I have the same problem. When I get to another official version of a song, I will talk about why I could only find remixes of certain songs. Sandopolis, though, I'm actually going to put in... I'll put it in A. I do remember it. I'll skip because this one is a remix. Okay. Lava Reef Zone. I was saving that as a surprise. It's my favourite one, I think. And when I heard it come back in Mania, it's emotional. I can't quite capture it with adjectives and words. But the way this track makes me feel, I could work out to it, I could run to it, I could cry to it. I don't cry. No, I could... Everything. Wow. Such an amazing zone. I love Lava Reef Zone. I'm not going to sit here and gush and nerd over a Sonic the Hedgehog zone theme, but Lava Reef is one that I genuinely adore. I adore it. I think it's fantastic. I'm going to let the whole thing play out because it's so good. But when the high pitch like noises come in, and here the melody starts to build. It's so... Chef's kiss! Ah! It's so good. It gives me an adrenaline boost. I really, really like Lava Reef Zone. I have no... It's all subjective, of course. I have no reason to be like, this is the best one. But the way it makes me feel is why I put it in SS tier. That is simply the reason why. But Sky Sanctuary Zone. I mean, Sky Sanctuary Zone's very good, isn't it? It's got to be an S tier. It's got to be an S tier. I like Sky Sanctuary Zone. I mean, it's... I feel like the theme isn't the strong suit of it, though. The level is. The storytelling is. Storytelling, impeccable. Level layout, impeccable. The actual climax of the game, impeccable. I just think the theme is great. See, that sounds like an insult. It's not an insult. The theme is great. I adore it. But it ain't no Lava Reef. It ain't no Spring Yard. I'll cue those two up as I do my outro here because they are so good. And that is my official tier list, guys. That is my official tier list for the classic Sonic games. Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, no Sonic CD. Sonic and Knuckles, that's it. Sonic 1, 2 and 3, and Sonic and Knuckles, without CD involved. Even though there are some bangers in CD, of course. Might have to do that separately at some point. But that is from B to SS, so there are no bad ones, bear this in mind. But to be honest, it was kind of a lot of waffle, but waffle that I very much had fun giving out to the internet. So hopefully there are some opinions you agree with. Of course, there'll be some you disagree with. But that's the beautiful thing about music. It is different for everybody, right? And the good thing I'm sure every single Sonic fan will agree with me on right here is that Sonic the Hedgehog is distinctive when it comes to its music. The music is so iconic, it's so good, it is Possibly the best series ever for its music because of the dynamic, the vocal tracks, the classic retro tracks, the EDM, the metal, the rock. Oh, it's all there. It's so good.
Damn, not here. Where's that damn fourth chaos emerald?
That's my Shadow the Hedgehog impression. Thank you for watching, everybody. Thank you. Of whether you're watching this live, whether you're watching it post-recording, watching it on YouTube. I appreciate all of the support, all of the love. Hopefully you guys got to just bop along, listen to me. I'll try and make some of my videos less hype because a lot of my content, I want to try and make it fall asleep content, and music and me going hype to it probably isn't the best way for people to fall asleep. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. That is everything from me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to continue tuning in if you did enjoy it. Working on a big Sonic the Hedgehog 2 project, hoping to get it out for next week. I really am. Just don't hold me to it because I know what I'm like. I really want to because I've spent so long on it already and I'm so excited to share it. Join the Discord if you're not in the Discord already. I'll put that in the description below if you're watching on YouTube. Let me also put it in the chat for the people that are live. Thank you again so much for watching, and I shall see you all next time I do something, whatever that may be. Look at me being organised. Take care of yourselves, guys. I'll see you later. Goodbye. Goodbye. See you later, guys.